Happy Comic Book Day and welcome back, all you four-color funny book aficionados. This is US Comics Cast, HQ for all things comic book connected. We are John and Charlie Rivera, together the co-founders of US Comics. Charlie, happy Comic Book Day.
Happy Comic Book Day to you and to everyone listening and watching today, as we are brought to you once again by Bad Mary Band and Sergeant Finesse Gaming. If you haven't done so already, please smash that like and or follow button and hit that comment section like. Hit that comment section like. I don't like the sound of them knocks, John! We saw Knock at the Cabin. Holy shit. Let's dive right in. The most aggressive door-to-door salespeople of all time.
Man, impossible to pretend you are not home when you're living in an Airbnb cabin that's all damn windows. I don't know, Charlie. Do we have a prefab spoiler heavy? How do we want to handle this?
I think we avoid the trailer explains everything about the film. So I think we don't tell them how it ends.
Sure.
We can absolutely talk about beats. This is a safe space.
So we don't talk about how the dinosaurs show up.
No, we can talk about that. We're talking about some of the dinosaurs. We have to talk about some of the dinosaurs.
All right.
That would be a real great reveal. He gets wet and it's makeup that makes him skin toned, like the Joker in the Batman.
1 second.
Uh-oh. Yeah, dude, yeah. What is happening? Are you suing me?
Not bad. Both I'm suing you and
Knock
also
at the Cabin too. It's
stealing
Drax.
Your damn idea.
I like it.
Guys, maybe the only thing better than going to the movies with your brother, in essence, the middle of the damn week. If it's a work day and you find yourself in the movies that night,
it's a good day.
Something is off the rails. It's not a normal, typical day. I had popcorn for dinner.
It's kind of fucked up that you just very clearly, like a person, went something has gone awry. I, however, was like, nice treat. Nice treat for the week. I get to escape for a couple hours.
Universe. I appreciate it.
John, did you read Cabin at the End of the World?
So, as of this date, I have not read Cabin at the End of the World. I fully intend to, because
different
spoiler fucking heavy. I really enjoyed this flick. I'm an M. Night Shyamalan fan. I always say a bad M. Night Shyamalan fan.
A bad fan. You're a bad fan.
I'm a bad, and I've been accused of that. A bad M. Night Shyamalan movie is better than most movies out there. So I see everything my man does.
Well,
and all of them have at least sections, huge chunks that are enjoyable to me. This was one of those flicks I loved. Really, the whole damn thing. It was a return to form in a lot of ways. So just real quick off the cuff. Did you like it? Was it okay for you? Did you not like it?
Yeah, I really, really liked it.
Okay.
There's one giant elephant in the room like flaw that I'm going to bring up in a second.
The elephant that shows up at the end?
The elephant that shows up at the end
weren't gonna spoil it, bro.
the woods.
Right. What was he doing in the woods?
I think every actor brought it. I thought every actor was believable. I think one of the best little kid performances in recent history. That girl was excellent.
She was great. First flick.
Holy shit. Well, I mean, she's a baby.
Baby.
She's 6 months old.
Those crickets, not their first flick.
Oh, what were they in last?
They were in the Polar Connection 2.
Holy shit, not one though. The CG in one.
It was a very preachy movie, so not a lot of people liked it.
Knock at the Cabin, I think there are people, obviously all M. Night movies are divisive. This is another one. A lot of people it's the best thing I've ever seen. Other people saying it's a piece of trash. What's your initial thought? Where'd you fall on the dislike it? It's okay.
So here's the thing, and I'm glad that you mentioned the book, because I do try to read source material if I'm interested in an upcoming adaptation, whether it's book or show.
I had no fucking clue this was coming
whatever
out.
The fuck. So I didn't know that it was coming, only for the fact that Dave Bautista was being kind of like heralded as he had applied onto him this title, like he's the best wrestler turned actor skill wise, and I sat back thinking, fuck, I didn't realize that was a category at the Oscars.
Wouldn't that be great though?
Would it though?
How
because
pissed would Rock be?
I mean, honestly,
I'm not trying to.
He's had a lot to be
I'm not
upset
trying to
about
shove one
this
down to elevate another.
cinematic year. But truth be told, though, again, I didn't realize on top of that it was based on a book, so I immediately went to go search it out. And I'm often, if not always, the guy that says, "Man, the book is better. Book is better." Just shaking my fist angrily, standing at the edge of the lawn. I haven't read the book, so I can't say at this state.
Way different. I listened to the book.
You listened to it. Well, I can't say this.
With the very aggressive point. I don't normally get full body John. Normally you're like in a window.
It's got a better title.
Oh yeah. Cabin at the End of the World is so specific.
At the End of the World is head and not head and shoulders of a normal human being. It's
Dave.
Batista head and shoulders better than Knock at the Cabin. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why did you do this?
So over on Twitch, which
Twitch.
makes me very nervous that
Twitch.
he's moved from Facebook to Twitch.
We have an illegal border crossing of Ellis is great himself, and granted, he is great. Ellis is both a wonderful artist and podcast commentator. Yeah.
What you gonna do, brother, when my acting skills fail you? I did like
Hogan
Thunder in
is
Paradise.
The best wrestler turned actor, brother.
John,
Well done.
here's the thing about
Title's better already.
Knock at the Cabin, but did you hear when the author of the book first sold it? Did you hear the original title?
No.
It was Cabin at the End of the World, in which Dave Bautista and three friends show up with a threatening bit of engagement in which you have to make decisions.
Four strangers show up, but all anybody can talk about is what's them wrinkles up on Batista's
Oh my
head
god!
there.
You know what I thought?
It's like when he thinks that's the equivalent of fucking Wahlburger's brows.
Yes.
You're like you're just watching the head wrinkle acting. Yo, he was great.
He was
great.
phenomenal.
Honestly, all the actors in a relatively small cast, I really enjoyed their performances.
Even when you come to the Fortress of Charlitude to record the show, you still have sounds on your shit. You just hate the audio version.
Was that the iPad?
Sounds different because there's like da-na-na, like the fucking Super Bowl's tomorrow.
First of all, you don't become a fantasy football champion like me.
What type of league was it? What type of league was it? I know you love.
It's Keeper League, bro.
It's a Keeper League, which is
legacy,
apparently harder.
Son, like this legacy right here.
I do need to quantify something because you're an M. Night fan. You said you're an M. Night fan.
I enjoy
I think you and I live and die by this idea that you've been trying to get off the ground for a few years, which is knowing that is important. Knowing you're an M. Night fan is important.
Yeah. You should wear that.
I'm not
badge.
an M. Night fan. I think the gimmick wore thin with me of the twist. I'm happy to report he's moving away from traditional twist, and the reason I say that is I think one thing Knock at the Cabin does incredibly well is the suspense. And I think if he was reverse engineering a twist, he's so concerned with force feeding us clues for the second, third, and fourth viewing that I think it diminishes the quality of the film. This doesn't suffer from that. However, it does suffer from two things. I'll give you one good, one bad. To go with Ellis over on now Twitch, which is weird for me to say, the purple site has taken over. Suck on it, Zuck. But don't throw us off your platform. The cinematography, almost his best ever. He makes Batista in this film. Batista's a big guy.
Yeah.
Looks superhuman.
Yeah,
he looks like he dwarfs Drax, and a lot of it is the sound engineering. I'm not sure if you picked up on it. We had really great seats. Thank you for the seats, by the way.
I'm a nerd. I'm not that big of a fucking nerd.
A lot of times when he's walking in the cabin, you hear little creaks from everybody, even the child. His sound like fee fi fo fum, and you can tell he's trying to be soft. And you hear like a lot of like there's so
Being
much
in the same
weight.
house with you, I also as well as
Well, that's how I fee fi fo fum.
I have a direct real life experience with that, and guys, it's fucking horrifying.
So, for those of you who may not know, the easiest synopsis I can give is a couple goes to a cabin in the woods for a little vacation.
Yeah. If you guys are not aware of it
trailer.
as yet, honestly, I'm not sure how you could be because it's literally the #1 movie in the world right now.
Off a $20 million budget.
Knocking off
They did a
fucking
great job.
little blue people right and left.
What's awesome about
Gargamel, motherfucker was Gargamel. He took blue people to town, son.
He did. What I really loved about the film is counterbalanced by the thing I hate the most. So again, the concept is these 4 people come and they're like, you have to make a fucked up decision, or else the world's going to end.
A Sophie's Choice, if you will.
And this is in the trailer as well. At some
That's
point,
some smart cinematic shit. Look that shit up.
terrible. At some point, they turn on the television and they're like, look, consequences for what's going on.
Yeah.
And the B team of this film, the second the second team,
Yeah.
which is usually when a director says, go get me this footage for the flick, I'm not going to shoot it myself.
The very few things that happen outside of the cabin.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Embarrassingly bad. Those news reports that show up in the film a couple times are terrible. They ruin the suspense.
Terrible in what sense?
The $20 million budget for a whole film with fucking Dave Bautista and the redhead from Harry Potter is gonna cost you some money. The CG is bad in the news reports. It's bad, John. It took me out of it.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, tell me now.
Narrative-wise, did you walk away from those scenes being like, oh, this just happened or that just happened?
I switched teams because of those news reports.
Really?
By the time there's 4 news reports, I think, by the second news report,
I
go, this couple sucks. I am pro fucking the Mormons.
So here's the thing, and just to get back to kind of...
By the way, my soft pitch, Dave Bautista as the main Mormon in Book of Mormon, the movie,
oh my God.
Musical.
I mean, except that, like, who the fuck wouldn't convert? He shows up at your door, and he just wrapped cabin and fucking knocking the cabin. He's like, yep, you got it. Give me the book. Where do I fucking donate? Yeah, he definitely... every shirt, a full-length shirt, he makes some short-sleeve shirt with him. One might argue... potentially, now that one isn't me because I'm somewhat in the middle from where Charlie is. I did have the thought, I'm like, did Marvel like do these fucking news?
Oh no!
Because well, truth be told,
last weekend they were told to do it. Like, we need 4 news reports.
Yeah, nobody's going home. Fucking what was I saying? Oh, that part of what he does, and you're right. This movie isn't so much a horror movie. It's not so much a traditional M. Night Shyamalan, what a twist, like you were saying. It really is a thriller, and it's a little bit of a mystery in terms of, like, what's your opinion? Like,
what would you do?
What the fuck is happening? Now, not having known the source material, I think in that capacity was a benefit to me because I could really sit back and kind of get it. Like, I was you know, I was with the couple and their kid. I'm like, is this real? Are they just crazy people?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure really up until, like, towards the end where things were going. So,
did you decide, though, early?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't. I sat back. I'm like, feed it to me. But I could potentially play devil's advocate with it if you're watching something, and again, just as a viewer, and if it doesn't seem authentic to you, what you're seeing on TV, that didn't feed into because you already knew because you heard
the book. Actually, I was gonna say one nice thing is they do a giant departure from the book. They go there. It's a completely fucking
really happening.
It's no. There's
just fucking with things?
Something happens where the fucking with us becomes a lot more possible. Where they
it's even more so.
It's even more of a conundrum because of a thing they removed from the film. I think to the film's benefit,
right? Well,
but the book made the best decision for a book.
I'm sure that they did that for
Jurassic Park dinosaurs show up in the book,
as they're apt to do.
Batista would uppercut a fucking stegosaurus.
I would put good money on Batista versus most fucking
just
dinosaurs.
with the fucking head ridges right up against the fucking.
But my dinosaurs would have the feathers on them, which make them that much scarier.
Actually.
But yeah, what I was saying was, the movie does I think a very good job of making you question. Right? They gaslight you a little bit because the second that you're like, I guess it's this, and it kind of like casts you as one character who's under duress. Something else happens and you're like, oh shit, maybe I'm this other character who's also under duress. So, but I would say that having the evidence, for lack of a better term, be somewhat like not didn't sell you per se.
It wasn't on purpose what I didn't like. It wasn't what they did. It's the way they executed it. No, it's because I think you bring up a good point. Like, do I think it could have worked narratively? Absolutely. I think they needed like another team to take a pass.
Knowing that knowing that you had to watch those things on you had to watch them watching these things happen on TV. I think
wish it was the
might
radio.
have been a.
If I was a producer,
that would
I would have been like
interesting.
a radio report. It's a fucking transistor radio. And the fact that they showed and didn't tell. Again, I do think everyone should go check it out. I think that's very, very important. I do believe, for me, this is in M. Night's top 3. But by and large, I don't love a lot of what M. Night does. And I think it's a flaw of all of his films. I think he always goes like, and what's happening on the news? Let's inform the world. And it's like, go fuck yourself, man.
Sure.
You can do it narratively, M. Night. I believe in you. And the fact that it took me out didn't do what it could have done, because I do think a superpower of this film is you do choose a side, and then I suspect everyone at least twice switches.
So let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
So for M. Night Shyamalan was also Signs, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So Signs was one of those flicks that had me pick a side almost immediately, and it was also questioning what was happening. Like, it wasn't, he didn't just come out and say, nope, this is definitely what's happening. It's just that something fucked up was happening. What's it gonna be? And then also, as well as, they took it to a point where they just fucking showed you.
Yeah.
Right? So we talk about how Jaws is so effective because for the most part they don't show you Bruce the shark. And ultimately, when they do finally show you, it's too late to take back your investment.
You're like, uh-oh.
But if looking back, you're like, if you're forced to, like at gunpoint,
I'm a shark.
If Quint fucking has like a harpoon gun against your chest,
looks like Elmo.
Pick something about Jaws that you don't like. Bruce himself is not the best shark puppet that I've ever seen, and I've seen like shark puppet shows at school. But you're so invested that it doesn't fucking matter anymore. If anything, I'll see real life footage of sharks. I'm like, no, that's wrong. That's not what they look like. Where's their gears? Where's the guy working their mouth like fucking Audrey too? So, but yeah, once you get invested in it, and the fact that they didn't show you, but in fucking Signs, when they showed me, I came close to be like, get the fuck out of here with that fucking goofy
not
thing.
for nothing, in
I would
Signs,
have knuckled up on that goofy soft
Signs,
squash wannabe mother. I'm like, let's go, biatch.
It looks
there's like literally 5 glasses of water right here. I'll knuckle up.
It looks like a putty from Power Rangers.
Yeah.
In Signs, he's like, terrible. That I think on a second viewing, I think especially that second news report, you're gonna do some math. And you're like, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. That's the dumbest shit. And I've already seen people online.
But you're focused on that though. So that is almost like that's almost like someone specific to me.
Yeah.
That's like someone specifically wanting something that's bad to say about it. Like, it's not, you can't just say, I liked it, this was great, this was surprising, this and the other thing. Do your typical ranking, like, well, out of the full body of work, I would put it
number 3.
firmly between.
Exactly. Third place, bronze.
I'm gonna take a number 3 on that. But yeah,
is that when you Siemens?
I would say that even if it was a fucking drawing, or if it was like effects to be added later.
Better. That would be better.
I would just argue it didn't matter.
I didn't need PlayStation 2 fucking graphics to fuck up my movie.
I would say it didn't matter ultimately.
What was the crowning achievement of the film for you? If there was, and if you want I can answer first, but what was the one thing that you suspect will ultimately be remembered from this? What's the takeaway? For me,
that Batista is the best actor turned wrestler.
For me, it was that more movies should take place in cabins. Has there been a cabin-based movie that you haven't left being like, yeah, cabin, John, Deadites either show up, monsters show up,
every Evil Dead movie
Batista
ever
shows up. Don't go cabins. Don't go cabins.
I mean,
John, don't go cabins.
I've been to multiple cabins. And
have you?
Never had.
Now, did you go glamping like the fucking couple in this movie where they're like, we're camping, giant fucking television, no cell phone reception, which like, you don't have Wi-Fi in that fucking place?
I do.
Maybe they cut it. They must have cut it.
Well, when they cut the
or did you go? Did you go in a cabin?
But
where
they didn't cut the cable.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? You're gonna how does that you can't connect your phone to a cable
mean,
box.
my
You
Optimum
find a way.
lives, bro, they fucking start hacking away. Everything's going down.
John, my question to you...
Even though I do have the fucking...
Was it glamping?
Free air. No, it wasn't.
Glamping
It was
or
like,
camping? Mine was glamping.
No, I've been straight camping, like you're laying on the ground in essence.
Yeah.
No, this was a cabin. It was like
cabin in the woods for you.
It was entirely conceivable that if someone had the gumption and the fucking desire, they certainly could have murdered all of us as we.
How far into the movie before you made a definitive choice on what you would have done in the situation?
Oh well, the whole time you're saying I would do this, I would do that.
Yeah. When did you lock it in?
Well,
when did you Jeopardy final answer that bitch?
It's probably the moment that you realize I'm lying to myself. I would just start crying like a little baby. The best chance that I would have had of escaping from fucking from Drax and fucking Weasley and those other two chicks would be when I urinated myself from top to bottom, thereby moistening my ropes and allowing me to somehow wiggle free in my shame and embarrassment.
I think my favorite
all
part,
over the place.
My favorite part, though, this was one of those movies where you and I are notorious, and admittedly, I've become much better as I've gotten slightly more mature over the last 30 years. You and I have we chat a little during the movie. I don't think obnoxiously. Sure. We get all up in each other's ears and we whisper lovingly. We paid like $80 a seat, so kiss our grits. This was one of the very few times ever you audibly pulled a stereotype at a movie where you almost like Leo
Don't DiCaprio. Go in that closet, girl!
You Leo DiCaprio pointing. You're like, do this instead of what you're doing, which is that. Yeah. Literally the vitriol. And respectfully, it was annoyed boyfriend energy, and it popped me, fucked up the scene, because I was just like, hey, this is a show just for me. I think for Batista's performance alone, for the structure, for the setup, for the cinematography, for me, this is a scene in theaters. Support it. We're about to get superhero season popping with Quantum Mania. Yeah. So let's help a $20 million movie, and let's reward M. Night for avoiding some of his
Let's help a little #1 movie in the world. Show them a little bit of love.
You know what?
They're doing just fine with
I don't understand what you're saying, so I'm going to take it as disrespect.
Rightfully so.
So I'm going to need you to relax. All I know is if you think that you would have the cojones to not answer the knock of one Dave Bad Boy Batista, oh shit, I think you're a fucking liar. Hey John.
Charlie.
Han shot first.
I know.
Ooh, gotta do it with both hands.
Fucking guy.
Wait, say your line again. Our youngest boy cousin turned 21, so I'm 1 billion years old.
This one's for Benny, boy. Benny, happy birthday.
Benny, salud. I way overfilled these and cover the whole. Ah.
Oh, he's trying to kill me. God damn.
I gotta tell you, I don't know about you. Very limited edition. I think they're working on the 3rd batch now. This is Boondock Saints.
They're about to get some of it back.
Boondock Saints Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, signed by Troy Duffy. This is a wonderful Christmas gift last year, or a birthday gift last year. Comes with a sweet Veritas Aquatas necklace.
Very cool.
Woo! Yes, I have the fire of 12 suns in my belly.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah, see the flick, guys. See the flick. So, moving on. I'm not one of these guys that get quote unquote triggered very easily.
It's true,
he's not. To say, fucking guy, what does he know? I used to say I'm never one of those guys that get triggered because I largely let shit roll off my back.
You did a good job for fucking 50 years.
Let's make it 2 now.
Damn it.
So in any case,
you want another
shot? No, not till next year maybe. So I'm minding my own business, just casually surfing the interwebs, and I come across a level of bullshit that I have not come across in many a year. Granted,
And you're on Twitter a lot.
not as many as this soon-to-be geezeritis over here, whose birthday is coming up a very, very short few days. Charlentine's Day is almost upon us, February 14th, if you want to get a gift card or something. But yeah, still a long time. So I'm clicking. And this.
Oof.
This bullshit. So
I
I
like
need
this.
to directly quote this for the mucker. Eric Wallace, soon to be the unemployed showrunner of the TV program The Flash. You know The Flash, part of the Arrowverse. Green Arrow, who's no longer on TV. He's occasionally wrestling when they'll allow him to. So this fucking schmuck, not to bury the lead.
Strong opinion.
Eric Wallace, the showrunner of The Flash, his quote is that Grant Gustin, who I infamously have fucking mangled his name on this very program many times.
You've also tried to get him work a lot.
I am trying to get this no chin having son of a bitch work. See? You turned me into a fucking fan to a hater with just one little comment, bro. Watch your mouth, people. Watch your mouths. So he says, and I quote, that Grant Gustin's legacy is equal, not approaching, not closely resembling, but equal to that of Christopher Reeve as Superman. He is saying that people will associate Grant Gustin, the no-chin wonder, who's soon to no longer even be wearing the lightning bolts and red velvet of the Flash. I know it's leather on the show.
I like it.
But that he is equal to my man, Christopher Reeve as Superman. When people think the Flash, that they will think Grant Gustin. You know what I think, Charlie?
Yes?
I think that this fucking guy is an absolute maniac. I want to say this before I go crazy, because I'm about to. I do appreciate a coach or manager speaking up for their players.
100%.
I'm a big sports fan. You have these athletes out there, multimillionaires.
My favorite is a great term.
They're acting a fucking fool most times than not. And somebody's got to say, hey, look, this is a good guy. This is, I know he meant well, blah, blah, blah. He's got a big heart, team player. Like, all these fucking lies. And the truth of the matter is, we don't care because we're rooting for we're not even rooting for the fucking laundry guys. We're rooting for the hats. We root for the headgear because the laundry actually has their names on the back. I don't even give a shit about that. I'm rooting for the fucking logo on their headgear, unless it's basketball, in which case I'm probably rooting for their jersey. But, that being said, this is out of line. This is out of line. This is like, I like Arbor Day and trying to compare it to Christmas Day or Hanukkah. It's so goofy, Charlie. So the truth of the matter is, while many people know that there is a Flash television program, this is certainly not the first Flash television program.
Not even close.
We had our 90s
John Wesley Shipp.
The velvet molded muscled Flash running
JWS.
Running around town.
He ran around and felt. That's talent.
Charlie, the fucking DCU is literally about to be rebooted by Ezra Miller as the Flash. So to say that this goofy son of a gun is the fucking the definitive anything is so intentionally, I think, intentionally stupid. Yeah. And it burned me up, bro.
Yeah. But it should
leave my Superman Christopher Reeve out your mouth.
That's here. Can I? This is hard because I do a lot of times try to play point counterpoint with you.
Yeah,
but it's difficult because very often we are just right.
It's stupid. It's a stupid.
So I do encourage you, if you somehow disagree, it's okay to like someone in a role. It's okay to love someone in a role. But John, this is the fourth guy to put on the lightning bolt.
Rip them all, go ahead.
Right? There's John Wesley Shipp.
The 90s TV Flash.
There's the goofy Barry Allen, but his name was Impulse somehow in Smallville.
Nobody really watched that, but we'll take your word for it.
There was Grant Gustin, and there was Ezra Miller. And
Grant Gustin?
And Grant Gustin has been on a show with 2 other Flashes. If you're on, I would argue that sometimes
he's making it worse.
The boat has sailed.
Worse.
How can you be a definitive form factor?
Boat is sailed?
I don't know.
Ship is sailed.
Is a ship not a boat?
They both float.
Is it not a boat as well? A dinghy. The dinghy has left.
If you cut a boat, does it not sink?
If you replace all the wood on that dinghy, does it not become a different dinghy?
We talked about that.
John, my question to you would be, is it even possible to come in at the 4th at bat and be the definitive dick when a character evolves?
Yes.
So you think
you certainly
there's...
can. The top of the mountain performance, like there. So let's examine some other bite at the apple characters, and a lot of times they are superhero type characters because these are stories that have multiple entries as source material. So just real quick of what you're saying,
motherfucking ESPN, keep your music off my motherfucking pod.
Don't talk to them like that, bro. Don't make me. Make me choose between the two of you. I'm gonna
bite your fingy if you keep coming to my zone.
So we've had at this point multiple Spider-Men.
The Spider-Men.
We've had a few of them together, even on the screen at the same time. Swallow it now. Swallow it, gross bastard. So there are people, maybe not myself, but it's irrelevant to the point. Yeah. There are people who would say, Tom Holland, quintessential number 1, locked in, best. When you think Spider-Man, you think of this guy. Some people might say fucking Andrew Garfield. Granted, it's mostly his family, but there are people that say it, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So, yes, I do think that a person they don't have to be the first person to portray a particular character or what have you.
Would you agree it's more difficult?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
Because also, as well as like we were talking about before, the singular performance is not the be-all, end-all.
Yeah.
That person might be the quarterback of that particular franchise, but the team around them has to be in place and be fucking butters if you want the end product to be a good one.
I think a lot of times what gets confusing is preference and a base knowledge not actually being as thorough as one might think. I think most people who like the Flash TV show don't necessarily give a fuck about the comic.
They're silly gooses,
which I think is fine. I am less offended.
It is fine because you don't have to be. Yeah. You don't need a master's degree and have studied every iteration of a thing.
Well, it's opinion. It's opinion, but I do think when you look at something like an actor's portrayal of a fictional character, allegedly fictional. I think sometimes when you close your eyes and picture that character, sometimes it just has to be who's closest. I love Henry Cavill. I love him. He was a wonderful casting of Superman.
He was.
He never once embodied the Superman that lives in my head. And I said this to you, I said this to you out of sequence, off mic. But I said when I saw Christopher Reeve's Superman, what that did was that became Superman to me. And you said, well, that's because you were a kid. It's not what I meant. What I meant was...
That wasn't the guy we were talking about.
Sure. But what?
That wasn't the example that we were talking about.
I know, but I was saying that I was talking about Chris Reeve specifically. What he did was he imprinted Superman on me the way that Kevin Conroy, to prove your point, not the first Batman voice even, Kevin Conroy imprinted so much on me that when I read Batman, I hear Kevin Conroy. When I see a Batman live action, I compare him to a cartoon fucking Batman, which inarguably is unfair. When I saw...
but actually that speaks to the point even better, though, because you were a goofy little fucking lip-blubbering child. A cartoon is going to have almost like an unfair advantage. So, again, just to set it up. So,
yeah, please.
So I put together kind of like my fucking list. Charlie's a fucking lead-bearing son of a bitch.
I'm putting Chris back up.
If you need to disappear your body, this is your fucking guy.
I would have literally
as long as it's not thundering outside, because he's also a thunder-stealing son of a bitch. But thunder-steal, lead-burying, Resume 1 and 2. That being said,
Available for all podcasts.
as it's my topic, I'm going to go ahead and put out that question.
This
Who
is your
are-
topic? Holy shit.
Who are those portrayals of a particular character that are the definitive? Hey, Christian, what's up? Checking in from Facebook. Who are those characters like Christopher Reeve as Superman is the definitive Superman? I don't give a shit. I don't want to hear nothing about nothing else that disagrees. But there are certainly other franchises beyond Superman. So, Charlie, I'll throw it to you first. I have my number one that came to mind beyond Superman immediately. But franchise who's been portrayed by multiple actors, multiple iterations, but there's always going to be that one sitting at the top of the mountain for you. Who is it?
James Bond 007 has been played by fucking everybody, it seems. Like, you're next.
Yeah, no.
You're the next James Blunt. James Blunt. That was the last one. He was James Blunt. For me, despite the fact, to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think he was only James Bond once. Sean Connery is fucking James Bond. He is the one I compare.
Definitive James Bond.
What I like about it, we're going to shoot to Facebook real quick because I think we have a great answer.
And
we have two wonderful answers. One's wrong, though. What's interesting about James Bond to me was I've enjoyed most James Bonds.
Yeah.
They're still directly
compared. The franchise.
Yeah, let's jump over to Facebook. Our good friend Christian over on Facebook, co-host of the wonderful Live from the Secret Stash. More about that in the ad section. He throws out Matt Ryan as John Constantine, a guy so good. They said, lend us your voice because you are fucking crushing it. I know Matt Ryan as John Constantine is special in your heart because his tie was actually short. He pulled it up and it was like, whoop, belly button.
Listen, when you wear a short tie, an untightened tie, and it's still nice and low to your belly button, that means that when you raise it up to that top button, you're gonna have a little bit of a what's his name from Popeye? Fucking, he'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Like that son of a bitch. His tie was sitting like this, looking like a barrister in 1800s fucking England. Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much.
Ellis arguing with my Kevin Conroy point, saying Christian Bale, the definitive Batman. We got Christian hitting us a second time, Jim Henson as Kermit the Frog. One of those things that you almost can't imagine that it's someone else. It's ever doing a Jim Henson impersonation.
Anybody else doing Kermit the Frog just sounds like Kermit the Frog has like strep or something like that, or something was kind of funky,
Kermit got a cold.
Funky in Miss Piggy's undercarriage, and he came up like
as I kick the hell out of the table.
Charlie kicks the tits out of everything in his studio.
What's the next on your? Why'd you put up a fucking quote? You're a guest in my studio, bitch.
Sorry, only because I had to rearrange some stuff for aesthetic purposes.
It's true.
Beautifully done on Sean Connery, by the way. Thank you. He also, as well as, made it to my list. But but my number one original thought, comparing the unfortunate comparison. This is why you're off the air, you son of a bitch. Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. Now, Indiana Jones, somebody might foolishly say...
Are we thinking young Indiana Jones?
Somebody might foolishly say that he's the only Indiana Jones that we've gotten. But they'd be wrong.
I buried another lead.
So, I need to rewrite that resume, dude. We would be wrong. So we have had not just River Phoenix's interpretation of a young Indiana Jones. When we saw Charlie's favorite 007 acting like his father.
Indy was the dog's name.
In Latin. But yeah, we also had, by indeed one of the very self-same own, there we go, Boondock Saints themselves, we had an Indiana Jones series that, frankly, I think is the best way, the proper way to handle Indiana Jones moving forward, since, as we all know, this last go-round with the fedora and the whip is going to be the last one for Harrison. Mr. Ford, if you're nasty. But, yeah, no, fucking Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. I don't even want to hear about anybody else fucking putting that hat on, putting the jacket on as a spittle of myself. I'm so upset. No, it's got to be.
Can I hit you with a controversial
You can, but I might hit you in real life. But do it. The people want to see.
I love Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee from the Hammer monster movies, from the classic Universal monster movies. He's one of the cat who double dipped in those franchises. For a long time was my definitive Sherlock Holmes. Robert Downey Jr. for me is my favorite. I almost said, did I say Indiana Jones? Because I meant Sherlock Holmes.
Indiana Jones.
I meant Sherlock Holmes. Robert Downey Jr. is my favorite Sherlock Holmes, and I know that that's saying a lot because there's a few series that people hold in such high regard. Ironically, to further bury myself amongst these beautiful, beautiful people, not my favorite Iron Man, not my favorite Iron Man by a long shot, because we were just talking about the second '90s cartoon.
Ellis was fighting.
The second Iron Man cartoon is my mulleted, definitive, mustachioed Iron Man, if for no other reason than the fucking intro song. But you know, I'm not the end all be all. Christian from Facebook hitting us, David Tennant as the Doctor. Doctor Who
has such a long and like kind of rich history. But you know what? Just the BBC in general terms, they are very good at like giving.
This is a kid show, bro. Can't be talking about BBCs up in here. You're gross.
First of all, I'll talk about BBCs up on Sunday in church next to the big hat ladies, if I wants to. You know, British television is just very, very good at kind of like giving franchises in general, along with the fact that Sherlock Holmes has been around forever and a day. Yeah, Ellis is right. John does love that BBC, son.
We have different BBCs in mind. You're telling the people a lot.
I'll show you later. It's fine, guys. It's fine. It's been a long year already. Yeah, no, I agree with you. And very often what will end up happening is you will get definitive strokes because it's the first time that sometimes people will see them in that capacity.
Absolutely.
So they end up adding elements to a character that maybe didn't get directly carted over from whatever that source material was. And then it just gets locked in.
Yeah.
And then if a person doesn't follow, the next person at bat doesn't follow up with that, then you're like, well, this is going to be, fucking lacking to me. You know?
It's always interesting to see even that possibility. You think of, I don't know if you have another one lined up in your mind already.
Keep talking.
Can I drop another one?
Sure. Why not? This is informal up in here. We drink and talk about BBCs.
I never thought Mel Gibson would have a challenger for Mad Max's throne. But fucking Bane crushed it. Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy was awesome in Mad Max. And if for nothing else, what's interesting about that is I think I would still put Mel Gibson as my number one. I wouldn't call him definitive. I think Mad Max is actually a very playable role. I think if you told me like Ben Affleck was going to be the next Mad Max, I'd be like, all right. Like, I don't know if that character, what's interesting is as opposed to Superman or even the Flash, I don't necessarily think every character has enough on the bone that an actor has to fight an uphill battle. I think our definitive Mad Max could be around the corner. Could be a third actor. I don't know if I'm that.
Do you think that there's been enough? There's like enough screen time to say like, oh no, this is the fucking guy, Tom Hardy's portrayal, because he could have just been a grumpy fucking Gus in the sandy wasteland. I wouldn't blame him. Like, certainly you got to eat two-headed lizards to get your protein in for the day. I'd be pretty upset about it too.
You know, I feel like as long as it's more than a cameo, I think there's enough meat on that bone. Really? I think every character can have a definitive take. It's just whether or not they put in the work. I think Christian's bringing up a good point that the role itself was reduced so much in the last Mad Max. It was made so much like...
Well, it's as much about homegirl with the one arm. As
a Furiosa, which was Ellis's point.
Oh, half-butt naked chicks in your back seat.
You're going to get distracted.
Honestly, I'm like, when did he start driving? Your attention gets taken away sometimes.
But I do think there are two different categories, as Christian brought up there, some characters are ethereal. Some characters are very much like
True.
put someone into place. And I do not think necessarily that saying something bad about that character, because already in my head, for something that hasn't come out yet, I already have a dog in the fight for Booster Gold, and it's changed because I don't necessarily want an older boost of gold. So the guy who I always thought would put on the goggles.
You are very much in the same school as James Gunn because he wants nobody fucking old.
He's like, everyone's coming in 18 and we're aging them up.
James Gunn is like Charlie's dating profile. He's like, you how old, bitch? Get out. There's the door. We do not fucking we do not pay for parking either. Hit the brake. Give me that stamp back.
I tried my best to go against instinct. I am not as good as Ben Affleck. You can date someone near my age. I just can't do it.
I mean, you're gross. Your age is gross, so not like my young
Raul
self.
Julia, definitive Gomez Adams.
Not even close.
Clearly, someone hasn't seen my brother play Gomez.
I still fucking defer. No. So the last one and then we'll wrap it up. The last one for me, and this is a cat who I knew first on the written page. So when that comes to you that way, as opposed to some other of the visual mediums that are out there, your mind self-casts.
Yeah.
Your fucking your audibles say this is what this person.
And you don't always make it
like.
you. That's interesting.
Occasionally. But in the PG titles, no, never. Jack Ryan, we have gotten now.
Oh my God.
Multiple iterations, both on the large screen and the small. And we've had certain characters. This kind of speaks to almost like defies my fucking point, because I'm like, well, is one turn at bat enough to get you into the Hall of Fame, as it were? And for me, absolutely that would be the case, because I cemented Harrison Ford in the forever of the conversation. But for me, the quintessential Jack Ryan is actually Alec Baldwin.
Interesting.
Shoot first, ask questions later. Alec Baldwin, his turn in Hunt for Red October, a lot of times got overlooked because of the Scottish sounding Russian, and like, well, you don't even sound like the rest of the people on the submarine because they all sound like British speaking Russians. But regardless,
don't make me slap this woman.
Alec Baldwin, and for if for nothing else, then he kind of like matched the portrayal in my mind of Jack Ryan from reading him as like way too young, that I really shouldn't have been. You know, our mom has a lot to answer for. A lot of my reading habits were a bit premature for that reason. But he matched the guy that I
saw.
Jugs,
Triple X. It's a good one.
You ain't lying.
Got passed out of the family.
You ain't lying. But yeah, so like, unless did you have any others that you off the top of your head that you wanted to drop in there?
No, I think I hit. I think the one I will give a shout out to, just because we have
honorable mention.
We have a co-host of Live from the Secret Stash. When they tried to do a Clerks series, it kind of proved that there's only one Dante and Randall, and they are not fucking SNL alumni. So
yet the day is young.
Touche. I heard that Randall guy is who you go to for a donkey show.
And Muse got some more mouths to feed, so
yeah, exactly.
He'll take a job.
Holy shit, let's do it. Fuck the cartoon. Let's just have fucking Dante's, spoiler alert, Dante's ghost just being like, I'm still not supposed to fucking be his ear. Let him play one of his cousins.
Can you imagine, not for anything.
Yup.
All due respect to Mrs. Smith's writing, but is there anything worse than like not supposed to have been someplace and then you end up being tethered to that location for all of eternity? Can you imagine my poor man if he's stuck on this realm forever?
You literally sent to shiver down my spine that I'm going to be ethereal connected to my job.
Oh, it's going to happen, dude.
That's not okay. You said today that I was married, but I forgot. I'm pissed at you. Fuck this segment. This segment's bullshit.
Final thought. Grant Gustin, you're a great guy, wonderful performer, but with all due respect, you're no Christopher Reeve.
I would still really love if he shows up at the end. Maybe he can grow into a Christopher Reeve-like figure. I doubt it, just because I don't think that character is deserving of a mantle holder. Fuck the Flash.
Is that your final thoughts?
Yeah.
For my section?
I can run real
awesome.
fast.
So why don't we go ahead and tell the good people how we pay them bills, would you?
Well, John, here's a fun fact for you. We are not like other pods. I'm not going to fucking sell dish soap and sell out for any random brand that's willing to pay. No, because today we are once again brought to you by one of our favorite bands, and that, of course, is Bad Mary. You heard them during the intro. You're going to hear them again at the end of the show. If you're wondering where else you can catch their act, soon to be Japan,
I am one.
You can follow them over at Bad Mary Band Band across all social media platforms. You can support them over on patreon.com/badmaryband. You can stay up to date at badmary.com for merch and upcoming performances. My favorite part is they have limited edition drops, including a Japan t-shirt you can check out right now. But my super favorite part is that their entire discography is available on every single music streaming service. How goddamn convenient is that?
Damn straight. I'm going to go ahead and hold this up here and pretend like I memorized it, even though I didn't, because you got to ask yourself, where are we dropping? And the answer was Sergeant Finesse. Find him currently gaming as a gaming partner on Facebook, but he's also as well as on Twitch, on Trovo, and the new streamer, Kick. Multiple streams every day, outstanding video game content, supporter games, co-streams, giveaways, contests. Don't be a sucker. Check him out today. Right now, he's flying around fucking Hogwarts and Mead, and he's wearing a goofy-looking hat playing the Harry Potter game. Haters be damned. So check him out. Check him out today.
What is that streaming service called? Because we're going to be on it next week.
Kick.
Because I am nothing if not a copycat. Christian coming in with one comment that needs to be mentioned. Being stuck on the ethereal plane to something is like a Ghostbuster fan being stuck at the New York firehouse, realizing it's not real inside. A real firehouse? Certainly no ghosts yet.
Christian, when I, as the great older brother, took this little amoeba on the self-appointed, self-styled, put-together Ghostbusters tour in the city, and we went to the firehouse. We peeked in for the first time, and there was indeed a in-house firefighter. You saw the jackets all lined up on the pegs. Firefighter Rivera. Oh man,
that's
keeping it real.
With that being said, if you just come in close, he's the reason that there are now more than 4 proton packs in this house.
They're all over the place.
So, Christian, next time I see you in person, you're gonna need to throw on one of those Hazmat packs. I think they're freaking awesome. But speaking of Christian, speaking of the Secret Stash, the place where you can get such fine collectibles as this Monroeville Zombies sweater, John, we're gonna have a special set of guests. That's right. Christian and Co. will be joining us next week, the day after my birthday, right here on US Comics Cast. You can find it where you're watching it right now, where you're listening to it right now, on all streaming services. The crossover of the millennium.
Allen Iverson style crossover. Ooh, gonna kill you.
If you think Christian's good in the comments, wait till you get to see that beautiful punum and that wonderful, glorious mound of hair. We are going to drop it like it's his hot next week, Wednesday, February 15th. If you're listening to this after, hey, listen to it. It's on the internet forever. And so also, I can't believe you said that thing.
Don't be afraid to watch The Secret Stash.
Yes.
Their video podcast, which is also on Wednesdays. Very often leading straight into this one. It's like, it's like 90s must-watch TV.
Yeah, we're tagging on to the back end, like every show that followed Walking Dead for a while.
Like every one of my girlfriends who you tried to get with their sister, and sometimes did. Well done, brother.
What's up, ladies? John, you know what's great about a sequel, or almost like a spiritual sequel to Live from the Secret Stash? Lots of sequels, like a pile of sequels that'll just never end. Like, IPs that never go away.
A franchise, as it
were. Like a franchise. And what I love about this day and age, if you can't get those millions and millions of dollars to make a heavy CG film, you can turn to what I think is one of the most glorious formats for any sort of property to land upon. You and I have spoken about it a lot. There are budgets that sometimes hold back a film's potential. Potential's never held back in the form of a 4-color funny. From Marvel, they needed another franchise, it turned out. Disney did. The Marvel comic books are bringing even more Planet of the Apes into our lives. For the first time ever, we're getting sequels to those most recent Planet of the Apes film, a franchise that is about to hit what I think is the most exciting part. We're about to see the Monkey War, son.
Finally.
I've been waiting for these fucking, every orangutan, every little monkey type, about to fuck shit up. Some of the preview art I see, they look like they're already in like a post-apocalypse. They look like Mad Max monkeys. They're like, has tire armor. I'm like, yo, this monkey's ready to fucking go.
They're not fucking around anymore, bro.
John, I fucking love Planet of the Apes. And you are once again, you're the culprit. It's your fault.
Yeah. I am both sorry and you're welcome.
Maybe it's actually not just your fault. It's a little bit The Simpsons' fault, because the song Dr. Zaius has been in and out of my head every day for about 20 years, because Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius,
It's
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr.
it's a
Zaius.
straight up Simpsons banger
Dr.
on
Zaius.
the level of fucking Mr. Snow.
Mr. Snow,
Mr. Plow. Mr.
the Unirail, not Unirail,
Monorail. Just fucking
Monorail,
shit up.
Monorail.
Like, we love these songs so much. Don't remember the name.
John, there are so few franchises that have had 3 distinct series in their run.
Yeah.
Your whole childhood, they had like 17.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Return to the Planet of the Apes, The City Under the Planet of the Apes. Holy shit, look at this planet. It's full of apes.
If you allow me to take us back a little bit.
Fucking do it.
Cast your mind back. 1943, Sicily. That's something different.
Oh my god, I just imagine like fucking Sopranos style, like Planet of the Apes.
I was kind of pushing more towards Golden Girls, but yeah, we're there. It's fine. So growing up in the mid '80s, this is the world of. I know it's tough to believe, like fucking floppy disk computers, one TV in the house. These were not the glory days that we're living in right now, technologically speaking. So, the time in front of the TV was kind of limited. You had, as a child, Saturday mornings.
Yep.
Cartoon time was on. Occasionally, Pops would let you sit in for some Kung Fu theater or maybe some Tarzan in the black and white, and you appreciated it, granted.
Not enough apes in Tarzan.
Almost, just like little ones.
Yeah, little.
And none of them talked. But on Sunday mornings, you were almost guaranteed for a fresh installment in the saga of the apes that done took over shit. I've seen every single Planet of the Apes entry that has ever fucking been made, and after a certain period of time, they do tend to run into each other just a little bit. But the current iteration, you can pretty much almost throw away with the bath water, the Marky Mark version. That was entirely fine. Like there was.
I think I found an ape planet.
Forget about it. I think I found like the hottest fucking monkey walking around the apocalypse. I'm like, I should not be feeling these feelings. What's happening right now?
John had a real different viewing experience.
He had a lot of bananas that day. But that all being said, the
we're putting that on a shirt. Ellis over on Twitch. So far with the comment of the episode, I too am an ape aficionado.
Oh yeah, welcome back, all you ape aficionados. It's pretty outstanding. This current, starting with the Franco installment.
Which was like
introduced us to Baby Caesar, adorable.
You know what I love about the part of the thing is I'm very excited that Marvel's rolling with that saga, because I actually think the approach of this Planet of the Apes has been I love the old ones. I love the classic ape films.
The fucking like barely moving ape mouths.
Even like the Marky Mark film. Like I'm not pissed I saw it. Sorry. I'm a little pissed I saw it. What's great about this version of Caesar is we got to really have what felt like a realistic first installment, and they're only now getting to like, we got fucking ape war is about to hit us.
Well,
and
it's a proper progression.
Yeah, that's
for kind of like this aspect of it. We're like, they done this world is there. Now here's the problem.
Here's the thing.
And it almost from the very beginning. Like by the time that I was cognizant enough and able to kind of piece together the proper working order for these flicks, it was almost like Star Wars.
Yeah,
like,
it didn't matter for a while.
What order do you properly watch them in? And the proper order is just watch the first 3 that were released and throw everything else out until it shows up on TV with Mandalorian. But that being said, by the time I was really able to piece together the proper working order for them, it almost like didn't matter, because almost from Jump Street, I was rooting for the apes.
Yeah, 21.
Especially now where like you really get to see how it all came about. I mean, the apes are right. I don't have to show up to work Like I'm an ape ally. We cool, man. We don't need to go down that street. What you need? I got you.
I have always wanted kind of, because I feel the same way. It's very hard not to be on the. I think the original film series did a very pointed job of like, you're not on the side of the humans, are you anymore?
Right.
Like the first one is very human centric, and then you
Yeah.
very quickly swap teams because Caesar's a pimp.
He's the best.
What's interesting to me is we haven't yet really had like a Planet of the Apes horror movie. That's always been the one I have been kind of most excited for. And I think we might finally get that with the comic because you can be kind of gruesome in a four color funny.
But yeah, we talked about it just kind of recently how such a natural progression to getting it's storytelling. I personally don't care since I imbibe them all. I don't care if it's in comic book form. I don't care if it's in a TV show, especially now in the area of premiere television making. Obviously, novels, my first go-to, or movies, or fucking, Charlie saw it and I didn't. He's telling me about it via text. I'm like, oh, that's a fucking dope story. If I'm going to get caught up, I'm going to get caught up. I don't really care. However, sometimes if you only have the wherewithal to tell a story a certain way, and that story needs to be told, give me the comic. We talked about how Fight Club got there's a Fight Club 2 and a Fight Club 3, but it's in comic book form. It wasn't put on celluloid or whatever the hell you filmmakers do. This is just another example. As they're moving forward with that story beyond Caesar, I still want a little Caesar in my life. So
he's not
giving us.
We don't know what's going on with Caesar in the comic yet, which is kind of exciting. Like as far as those early solicitations, he's not mentioned. It's kind of just the war. Here's my question to you though.
Yes.
How many franchises? I do not hear people talking about Planet of the Apes nearly enough.
Yeah.
And yet there's been a bajillion Planet movies. It's on its third, like, giant story arc, and only the Marky Mark one didn't work. So, like, you had one, and they were like, nah, we need something where we can milk 4 or 5 movies out of this.
Yeah.
There are so few movies that even hit number 4.
Was it because of the Marky Mark Planet of the Apes rap that ran over the credits?
Yes.
Is that what sour people?
Marky Mark and I like a monkey. Check out that
Stop.
monkey's ass.
I'm very sorry in advance.
Ha.
Everybody, ugh.
I don't know one Marky Mark song.
That was it. That was actually...
It was perfect.
That was actually really close to one of them.
It got me thinking because I feel like there's not a Planet of the Apes fucking amusement park ride. How is that possible? How is there a Fast and Furious ride? Well, and you know what really popped it into my head? I recently made my poor mother, who suffers so much because her eldest son is like a J-Bron. She nothing.
Steve
no one suffers like our mother suffers,
and she'll tell you about it.
She will all day while she's like cashing checks. It sounds like she's a rapper.
Yeah.
The DJ Flatfoot.
Our mom is Queen Latifah.
It's true.
She's a very, very successful recorder.
She's absolutely going to be mad at you about that somehow.
Oh,
she's
for
like,
sure.
Queen Latifah hasn't been relevant in years.
Like, can you say Raquel Welch?
Yeah.
No, I couldn't. She's not a rapper.
So what bugs me about that, though, is like everyone keeps talking about fucking Jurassic Park still. And Jurassic Park has had 1 and 1.5 good movies.
Why?
And it has had now 4
and may I say
and a half stinkers.
It only has 1 and 1/2 good movies because
that was the book.
The fucking
I did it again. I don't know the difference between conversation and glories.
Charlie cannot get one.
Wait, no, say something.
Charlie can't get one answer correct on Jeopardy, but he'll answer every one of them with some fucking made up crazy bullshit. However, he plays every fucking sentence in this show like he's playing Jeopardy. He's like, I'm sorry. I mean, what is
your thought? What is your thought? But John, it kind of drove me nuts. So I wanted, like, specifically starting off with Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park and Jurassic World to me are
They are the first book. Which is why
movie
1 and 1/2 movies is very, very good.
Every idea since then has been doo-doo cocky.
Yeah.
The last movie, spoiler alert, the last movie isn't even really about dinosaurs. They're like, there's pests, like, we got little bugs that are eating crops. Whoa! All you gotta do to stop a raptor is this shit. You do that to a monkey, he is eating your hand in real life.
Yeah,
Let alone the movie where they're hyper intelligent.
Doing this doesn't even bring the camera into focus every time. Half the time it's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
You take what I give you.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a dinosaur? Fuck.
I think Star-Lord's relationship in real life didn't work out because of his involvement in Jurassic World.
That's possible.
I think she was like, this sucks and I don't love you anymore.
Oh, see, I thought you meant like, he's like, no, you gotta go with me to this party. It's a premiere. He's like,
yeah. She got upset.
You sit there, Anna. You sit there and you pray.
And she's just like, I'm going to hang out with the guy who's the
She's
fucking
like,
Velociraptor
I'm just going to go on a commercial and get butt naked for the Super Bowl. It's fine.
Yeah. What's up? Sorry.
It gives.
I will go where Star-Lord has been before.
Sometimes sad stories pay everybody else.
So I was, it just really had me thinking about franchises that are that successful. Because even a trilogy is a borderline miracle. To have three good, to have more good than bad in a giant franchise is very difficult. So for me, like Jurassic Park, people talk about it sells a shit ton of merch. Right. That's rightfully Planet of the Apes spot.
I guess
apes are more interesting than dinosaurs. Hyper intelligent ones, and the new movies add like what's the one with like the red butt, and the one with the flippity flops on its face.
I don't need to be sassed by no fucking crazy guy that's gonna kill me, pull me out of the jungle. No, honestly, for me, it's. I will ask you this.
Yeah.
Is it just like pure franchises, or are spin-offs allowed to be part of
I think like Lord of the Rings would count if that's one that's in your head.
All right, it's not, but I appreciate the attempt at theft. No,
shit.
The one. Oh, I'm sorry, Charlie. You were not going to make it to Final Jeopardy.
Beep.
So no,
robbed.
The one that came to me was Rocky.
Rocky, tremendous.
Now here's the thing.
No talking animals yet.
I love
Cuff and Link. Get to work.
You don't know, man.
There's a robot.
Butkus had something to say. You don't speak fucking bull mastiff.
I don't want to be a dick.
He said something.
I would watch that cartoon.
Of course I would.
Like Rocky's Pets.
Well, can you imagine
Cuff and Link talking shit?
The DC Pets cartoon, if Butkus just shows up and he's rocking the Eagles jersey. Even though we don't support the Eagles here.
Not
don't
even
get
close.
Crazy.
I only support animals ruining those jerseys with their like non-sweaty sweatness.
But yeah, so obviously Rocky, while some were like Oscar award winning scripts and some are punchlines at this point, to me every single thing, every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Balboa, certainly the Creed movies as a spin-off that we were talking about. In terms of the rights drama that's going on, that's not part of the equation as far as I'm concerned. That's not for me. I have enjoyed thoroughly even the quote unquote bad.
Yeah, Rocky 5 has grown on me like a wart.
I honestly, if any of them on good, bad, or indifferent, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna watch them. At the end of that movie, I'm gonna think I can drink raw eggs and go pick anybody out on the street and fight them and win. I have almost always been wrong, except when, you took it to the basement.
That's why those snot rockets are from this very broken nose.
That's why I can't really
I
complain
did win
about
that fight,
snoring.
though, last round. You just kind of fell. The fuck?
Sure you did. But, Rocky was the first one that I thought
I think Rocky is absolutely tremendous. What's weird is, again, talking about franchises that have gotten like amusement park rides, because a lot of times that's like
that's your watermark.
Well, it needs.
Where's their ride, fool?
Well, like Rocky, for God's sakes, to play off your point,
he's had a musical. So
he's had a musical, John. They made a taxi cab from Rocky 3 that drove us so insane. We had to watch Rocky 3 to be like, "Where's the cab?" Yeah. The cab just drops them off from the fucking airport.
What if
it's not okay?
What if
Autobot?
No. What if they're like. So viewership of Rocky 3 has been flagging a little bit. I got an idea. Let's make a fucking 1/18th model of a cab and just slap Rocky 3. I guarantee you everybody's going to race to streaming and watch it just so they can find out where this cab is in this daggone movie.
Son of a bitch. The conspiracy continues. So it had me kind of questioning. Is it about merchandising? Is it about opportunity? Is it about musicals? Which led me to a tremendously acclaimed series. Has video games. It doesn't have a land yet, but I'll be shocked if we go another few years without getting one. Fucking Lord of the Rings, I think has
also has a musical.
At this point, has more misses than hits for me. I've never been a Rings fan.
Yeah.
I fall into the Randall
Like, 'cause
school.
you're so
Not
less-
to ass kiss the stash too much, but I love everything about all of them. But no, it's a fucking. It's now 7 movies about people walking, and it's like Jesus fucking Christ.
I mean, it's not. But, you know, the thing about the Lord of the Rings, just to use the term, loosely, they made one flick, they made one book into 2 movies, which it never should have been, you know. And Peter Jackson is undeniably a master at what he does. Just sometimes I think you need to just say, okay, what's my next challenge?
Another one.
And another one. And that's kind of like how they approach it. Like, we're just going to keep on pumping them out. We'll just put Legolas and everything. They love that skinny son of a bitch.
Remember when he surfboards? That's great.
I really do. I really do.
It's like burned in my brain. That was one of the few times I remember at a movie theater you audibly being like grumbling to yourself like our father before us. Of just like, what is this?
They needed to know,
shit?
bro. They needed to know.
Do you have another one you hold in the same esteem as Planet of the Apes, or one that's the opposite? Do you have one that like you're like Planet deserves what this film has?
So similarly,
double back real quick, just to frame it,
sure.
Rocky deserves to be top tier. Jurassic Park doesn't. By these standards, does not deserve the tremendous adoration it has.
Jurassic Park's contention only goes so far. Like, what if we brought dinosaurs back now and they fucking went berserk as dinosaurs are apt to do? Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then you can't run with that premise over and over.
They should have aped it. They should have aped it, because if this Jurassic World was like the raptor has glasses on and he's making a formula to turn people into dinosaurs, I'm back in.
But never shoes, because fuck them shoes.
No, you need the
T-Rex is angry already. Now you're gonna say tie your shoelaces with them little goofy. Come on, dude. That's you're just asking for trouble. Ellis chiming in again from Twitch. Where does Police Academy franchise fit? You know what? I'm not sure if that was meant to be a punchline, Ellis, but Police Academy is actually in that conversation. Not only did it have 8,000 movies, it had a cartoon. Yep. It had great toys.
Police Academy in space.
A star-making vehicle. I love Police Academy.
But
and comedies should not be excluded.
Oh no!
From the conversation.
I super cut you off, but the reason was I do want to kind of quantify things in the world of does it deserve more than what it has? Does it deserve less than what it has? And I think right now we're pretty neck and neck. So what was your next one?
Well, my next one is
frame
actually
it at the end. It doesn't have to be up
well,
front.
no. It's actually similar in the sense that like they're not all considered great entries. However, I still enjoy watching them. Even the bad, quote unquote bad ones, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch, because the elements that make them great, while not every movie like the original, and actually this is one of those rare things where arguably the sequel may even be better than the original, Alien.
Yes.
The fucking Alien franchise, if there is a xenomorph running around, tail whipping around, half-butt naked astronauts doing what they gotta do, I'm there for it. And I also, as well as I had a conversation with another friend of the show, Jordan, Prometheus, which is one of the newer entries.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of my. That's also, and Jordan was saying for him, I said I gotta agree with you. It's one of my guilty pleasure movies. If it's on, I am watching it. Something about it doesn't. Now the film that followed it, not quite so much, but still, I'm not gonna back away from my contention. If it's anything Alien, I'm gonna send even Alien versus Predator. I'm still like there are parts of this that are very, very enjoyable.
The worst part of an Aliens movie
when it's over
is still the worst film that includes aliens. Still has fucking aliens in it. Like that's pretty goddamn sweet. Yeah, they eat that little motherfucker. Godzilla. Godzilla's a perfect example. How the fuck?
Yes,
first of all,
Godzilla.
Disney owns aliens. So it makes it more difficult. The fact that there isn't like Halloween Horror Nights, like Disney should rent out the IP to that should be
Alien properly handled is a horror movie.
But I think it deserves even more adoration than it has, and it has a lot. It has a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it could serve more. I do think Godzilla is another. He's a great
Godzilla's
example.
Up there, yeah. Sometimes even though the Matthew Broderick Godzilla is painfully bad, it's tough to
frustrating.
rewatch.
It's frustrating.
Fucking baby Godzillas are running around Madison Square Garden, and like I will actively change the channel. I can't change the channel fast enough.
Is there a franchise that has been more diminishing returns than, to go back to it, does have a Universal ride? It's considered almost and arguably the worst. Has any franchise been less deserving of what's going to wind up being 11 films than The Fast and the Furious? That, and I am a supporter. I'm like all in. I'm at a point now where it's like I have to visit them when they come out in theaters. Yeah. But jokingly, I have to defend it now because there's 2 okay movies out of fucking 11 it's gonna be.
And I still feel like you're being generous.
Fast 5 is fun. That's the best The Rock has been in an action movie, I think.
I will say this.
And Hobbs and Shaw rules.
The best, spin-offs obviously do count. I will say that the best Fast and the Furious movie, without saying that they're a good franchise, the best one to me is still Point Break.
Yeah.
Because that one, without question, is the first Fast and the Furious movie.
Same plot. I didn't do it that time.
I
wanted to. All I wanted to do. I didn't do it. I can learn. If I can change,
Charlie, I heard it,
and you can change.
I heard it in the back of, like, you know when the storm's rolling in and like the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, the humidity's changing.
It doesn't.
The lightning's gonna crash.
It doesn't qualify, but I think if we return to that universe, I do think Point Break could have worked as a franchise. Fucking Johnny Utah undercover,
Point Break, 100%.
Like he's a cool fucking cop.
But the ongoing adventures of Bodhi rather, and also you could have easily done like, well, how did Bodhi get to this place?
Yeah. Oh my God.
And also as well as seeing a young taut tank girl. Woo!
I gotta tell you, she falls on that list I was talking about before.
No titties still hot.
Off show. Not only no titties, like so hot in the past. If she was like, take me to dinner, I'd be like, yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah.
Like, and she's 100,000.
She's.
I love her.
Yeah, she might not pop up on.
What was that? Oh, it was Tank Girl with like the kangaroo men. We needed more Tank Girl.
Tank Girl. Man.
We should have had a franchise.
Tank Girl is ready. I think that really to have this conversation and not talk about Star Wars is almost irresponsible for fucking nerds of our level.
Agreed.
Because Star Wars is probably the prime example.
It's the GOAT
of the fucking. No, but I'm talking about of like the, like the chart. It's looking like a lie detector test. Like,
oh yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, very, very, very bad. And again, this is clearly just personal opinions, but
it's fact.
Never wrong.
It's fact.
So if you're unsure, just say, hey, what do John and Charlie think? We'll roll with that. Mandalorian largely salvaged Star Wars for a great many people. Now
made me love Star Wars.
I was a huge fan. I feel like one of those fucking
nerd?
A 90s. I like their old stuff. I loved from day one. I fucking loved Rogue One. I thought it was handled so well. I said it was the
Rogue One and Solo. You've always argued for it.
And again, Solo I've been a defender of. Now that one's tough because Han Solo is
ironically
on an Indiana Jones level for me.
Yeah, ironically, I would say that you can't recast Han, and they did, and I'm like, that movie's still great. Now to the wider point though,
right?
Planet of the Apes is definitely getting a medal in the greatest franchises of all time.
For sure. Right.
I would argue it's top 3. I would place Star Wars as number 1. It's the greatest franchise of all time.
I think
it has a little bit for everyone.
People would have a very, very hard time disagreeing with you, and also the fact that like it has not been one of those situations of diminishing returns. Granted, it started off as high as something can start, and even though there were lesser installments, multiple lesser installments, they've had stuff that's been like, oh nope, we're back at the banger status. And right now it's as high, maybe if ever that it's ever been. Again, you can kind of, in my opinion, discard the Boba Fett series. They should have just left what
that
the
Mandalorian episode's fat. In a good way, PHAT. I don't know why I went with that.
Charlie with straight 90s on us.
Well, but I don't mean to rush you, but as we wind down, my final thought, but I will extend it to you to throw.
I'll talk anyway. No,
yeah.
Final thought.
With Star Wars, what's interesting about it is if you were to take a math, like you might have to do the math for me on like hour by hour for Star Wars, because I think the original trilogy is wonderful. I have no love for the prequel series. I have no love for the sequel series. I have no love for Boba Fett. I think Mandalorian is some of the best television of all time. I think the cartoon shit, I totally get why people love it. I don't necessarily love it.
I mean, it let Filoni do his thing, though.
But it allowed for that world to get shaped to a point where Mandalorian was able to step into that world.
Yeah,
Mandalorian is very much a live action adaptation.
Came out of all that.
Fucking amazing.
There are nuggets of like must watch.
What I find interesting though is one of the most ardent defenders of what George Lucas did when he was in charge of it all, Ellis over on Twitch, he says that the Lucas years are the best. In my opinion, the Lucas years of Star Wars are maybe the most bipolar, where everything was either feast or famine, because that original Clone Wars movie was terrible, and it was to set up a great series. Right. But that movie sucks as a movie. Can
I just put
movie.
This out there
Please
to the defenders, to the Lucas defenders? Is it possible? You don't need to answer now. This can actually be the nerdy homework.
Best answer will get a George Lucas is a liar sticker.
Nice. What a win.
I'll give you 2.
Oh shit! Nice. I don't even have one. So my question would be this, and I know that this is true in real life. For some people who that's what they do for a living, like that's their calling card, obviously, like Star Wars was for Lucas. Is it possible that Lucas is one of those cats that just works better under pressure? Like he's a better ad-libber? Like, you know, there are some people who are funnier, just kind of like, you know, just ad-libbing or kind of like rolling with an improv scenario than they are when sitting down. Because when he says, oh yeah, no, I always knew that Luke and Leia were brother and sister. Yeah, you're a liar. You're lying. You stop it, like, and straight faced. I might argue this motherfucker is a better actor than a director because he's straight faced lying to us. So I would say that, you know what, maybe when that cash, that Brinks truck backed up and dumped out all that fucking moolah on Skywalker Ranch, he said, shit, I gotta come up with something. He by no means had 1 through 9 mapped out.
Vader always had C-3PO.
Oh my
That's
God.
not terrible and ruining.
Vader, what a surprise, it was his father. Vader means father. Get out of here, you know. Another no-chin bastard. And another one.
And another one. Don't make me shave my beard, because I have a horrible confession to make. John, that brings us to the end of the episode. We hope you had a good time. But to answer is George Lucas better under pressure, here's what you have to do. You have to go over to our Instagram at USComics HQ. You have to follow us, and you have to comment under the picture of this show. You got 2 bites at the apple. You got, because that's just the story, the one out now. So next Wednesday, the art will go up, and that's where we want to see that comment.
It'll be hilarious.
Here's the other thing. If you tag 2 friends, I will also add 2 more entries.
Oh my God.
So that's a few simple rules. If you don't understand, message us, because really I just want the interactions.
And if you win it, give me one of the stickers, please. It's embarrassing that I don't have one.
But here's the thing, John. There is only one way that we end each and every episode of US Comics Cast. I'm about to tell them what it is, but I want you to show them. I want you to be full animated, like you're starting the Askewverse, one of the other greatest franchises of all time. That's my number 2 greatest franchise of all time. Star Wars, Askewverse, Apes.
For you that you didn't mention that.
I have done a lot of ass kissing lately, and I'm going to be at his movie theater for Up All Night with you, and I might cry that I get to interact with him at all.
In the US Comics feety pajamas.
That's true. I actually want to talk to you. I think there might be a way to get that to happen now that it's in March. John! Couple of simple steps. First, you gotta turn that power on. Then you gotta turn that volume up. Then you gotta tune Bad Mary and open up the window wide and scream out into the night sky. Save me, space girl! Yeah.
I cannot hurt you. You cannot hurt me. But something inside me, something you can't see. You take what you want. Program me for anything. I don't have a choice. My coding makes me pacifist. I robot. choice. Something inside me, I'm gonna find my voice. I'll do what you want. Don't let me be alone tonight. I don't have a choice. It's what my circuit's feeling now. Robot, you do not feel anything for me. You did not think that I'd really be. All I really want is to be with you. All I really want is to dream of you. But I don't dream, but I don't dream, but I don't dream, but I don't. I cannot leave you, I'll never change. Something inside me, it's all rearranged. You can't know what I want, I cannot tell you of my love. I don't have a choice, and I will watch you die. I